Yes.
As I found out about the message that we were going to be doing, I was like, 5 minutes to tell my life story. I'm 33 years old. How in the world is this going to happen? So I decided to figure out, all right, what are the 4 main things that really impacted my life? The first thing was the family that I was born into. I was born into a awesome family. I love my family, blessed on both sides. My dad's side, his parents are missionaries, and so my grandparents were missionaries. My uncle's a missionary. A lot of people who love the Lord, who just invested in my life and challenged me. On my mother's side, same thing, except they weren't missionaries like going overseas. They were missionaries in the fact that they just loved on people. My grandfather was recently awarded an award in the town that he was in because of the service that he's done for so many different people. So I just had amazing examples. And I'm really glad I had those examples because I went to a public school when I was in elementary school through high school. I went to a public school. So I had a lot of influences that were negative. But because I was raised in a great home, I didn't have the effect from that. But the thing that I did do is I told people about Jesus. Now, that came off bad because there's many times where I was like, all right, I'm going to tell this person over here about Jesus because I know he needs him. But the way I would do it is I would be like, hey, you need Jesus or else you're going to hell. I was, like 12 years old when I started doing that, and I had no tact. I knew what he needed to happen. I knew I knew that person. You need Jesus. You so need Jesus. But I didn't know how to say that. All I knew is to say was like, hey, you need Jesus or you're going to hell. That didn't come across at all well. So I started getting made fun of at school because I was a Christian. Now that led into a problem in my life because I made mistakes. I'm a human being. And I made this really big mistake that a lot of Christians shouldn't be doing. And it was a thing that I didn't personally want a lot of people to know about. But my friend that I made a mistake with decided, hey, I'm going to get back to this guy because there was some animosity between us, I think. And he decided that he was going to go tell people. So he went and told a lot of people. And every day after that, I was made fun of in ways that I would never wish on any student or anybody. And it kind of destroyed my confidence. It kind of destroyed who I thought I was. Really made me feel sheepish and feel like, man, I can't live life. And my parents actually ended up finding out because I got made fun of so much at school that the principal had to call in, and it was just this really big mess in my life that really just challenged me to seek God, to draw on him, because he's really the only one I had, because I couldn't tell my parents because I didn't feel like I could. I couldn't tell anybody, I couldn't confide in anybody because it was such a horrible thing that I did. But I was so relieved when my parents found out, because then I could talk to them about it, I could tell them why I was thinking the things I was thinking and doing the things that I did. And because of that, I started to be able to come back and see God's grace. But also because of that, it really hindered who I thought I could be in the future. And when it came to high school, I had all this pressure from people that were just like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with your life? One of the things that I'm really cooks my grits. I'm not from the South, but I said it. Cooks my grits is when people are like, you need to know what you're going to do in the future. You need to know what you're going to do the next 50 years of your life. You're 18, but you need to know it. And so that really frustrated me. And I was good at art. I was actually in a class for art. I was going to go and become an artist, but I found out that, when you do art, you have to paint nude pictures, and I don't want to put myself in front of that type of thing because I'm a man, and all men struggle with that type of stuff. So I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put myself in front of that. But once that happened, I was like, hey, what are you going to do? So I decided to go into the workforce. And at that time, I had a pastor who was speaking in my life. He was my youth pastor. And he challenged me. He's like, Brandon, you need to get out of Lancaster County. I worked for 2 years in a Christian bookstore, at the cashier, scanning books through, grabbing books and all that kind of stuff, getting yelled at, dealing with customers was great. I don't know why I didn't want to do that the rest of my life. So I decided that maybe my youth pastor's right. So I was one of those students who's like, I don't like school, and we've heard that. It's been a theme so far this this class period. But I always never liked going to school or wasting time, because I don't want to waste money. I don't want to go to college because I want to go to school. I didn't want to waste the money. So the only place I thought that would be good enough would be Word of Life Bible Institute, and I had gone to camps through there. And when I went through the camps, they were like, hey, you got to come to our school. You know, it's really fun. I was like, okay, I don't like school. But once my youth pastor challenged me, he's like, get out of Lancaster County. I was like, all right, Word of Life is up in New York. That's out of Lancaster County. I'll go do that. Planned on doing that for a year. Ended up staying for 2. But I was in a Christian bubble for 4 years. I worked at a Christian bookstore. Then I went to Word of Life. And Word of Life was like super strict. You guys think LVC strict? They don't hold a candle to Word of Life. So I was in this Christian bubble, and I was like, I need to get out of this thing. I just need to get out. So I went into the workforce, and I worked for 7 years. And I always felt like I was a square peg in a round hole. I felt like I was just being beaten into these positions, like it just wasn't fitting. So I decided, I was like, what am I going to do? Why do I feel so down? Why do I feel it's just not working out? And I remember praying and talking to God about this throughout the 7 years. So then I decided to work at this one place called True Green. Did lawn care. I ended up working 60 hours a week by myself, basically. I'm an extrovert. I need people. I thrive off people. So I was basically running my own business in a sense, going out and taking care of people's lawns, coming back, going home, being super exhausted and super tired because physically it just drained me, and emotionally and spiritually it drained me because I wasn't around anybody. I remember crying out to God. I'm like, Lord, this is not right. I still feel like a square peg in a round hole. What am I going to do? And I remember it was like, I remember him saying, you need to be with people. And it got so bad to the point where I just ended up quitting one day. I was like, this is it, forget this. It's a funny story because I went into work, and I never thought I was going to quit. I went into work, I drove the 40 minutes to the place I was in on the highway driving, complaining because it was raining. I get out, start doing my job, and halfway through doing my job, I'm like, I'm quitting. Now, fortunately, I finished the job. I didn't just like walk off, say, see you later, customer. You know, I wasn't going to be like that. Finished the job and went back to my boss, and I'm like, I quit. Now, he's wondering, he's like, why are you here? You only did one job. You're supposed to be like doing 20 jobs. And I'm like, I quit. So that was like on a Wednesday. I went to church that night. I've been volunteering at a youth ministry, LCBC, called Circle 3, and the main youth pastor was there, and I told him the story. He's like, Brandon, why don't you go back to school for student ministry? Because he had known my past, he'd known that I'd been seeking ministry. So he's like, why don't you go back for student ministry? And it clicked. I was like, oh my goodness, that's with people. I love doing it. Wait, I can do it. And the reason I never did in the past is because of my past history. I felt horrible. I felt like I couldn't do anything because of the things that I've done. So just through all these experiences, I was able to come to LVC. And these past 2.5 years have been probably the best years of my life. And I want to thank all the teachers and everything, but I also want to thank you guys. It's been so encouraging seeing each and every one of you like love the Lord and strive for the Lord and have great character. Like I was at Word of Life, you know, and you've heard stories about kids at Word of Life. They come here sometimes, they're act kind of cocky and stuff. I know I can say that because I was one of them, even though I was 7 years out of it. I was still a little cocky. I was like, man, I'm Word of Life, what's up? But you guys, honestly, hands down, 10 times better than any students there. Now, the students that came here got better. But it's been such a blessing. I just want to thank each and every one of you. So, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.